Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's the Kitty G, and I'm back again with another video. Yes. I'm gonna do it this way because it's not even working properly. But yeah, everyone, you already know what happened yesterday. You already know the score. It was 3-0 to Liverpool. Absolute embarrassment of a game. But you know what made it worse? I think the fact that it was the international break made it worse for all of us, and we just couldn't. It just made it 10 times worse. And you know what? As you guys can see, I'm already streaming on my phone, but I have some wonderful guests with us, and hopefully the internet doesn't act up today. You know what? Half of my content has now become complaining about the internet. So at least I'm not complaining about Arsenal, right? And yeah, so let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? I'm going to throw that intro in now. Bang. Okay, so first, I'm going to introduce my guest. You guys already know Harry, DJ Harry. Big up to you, Harry. What are you saying?
Yeah, good, man. Lovely day outside. The sun is shining. So yeah, spent a few hours in the garden. Just watched Joe Willock score the equaliser against Spurs. So today's actually been a decent day.
Dare we say a good day? Okay, next, moving on to Gunner Express. Gunner Express has his own channel, by the way. Guys, go check that out, the Gunner Express. And big up to you, bro. What are you saying today?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I didn't watch the Tottenham game because I chose to watch the Arsenal women, and we just beat Brighton, so I'm happy about that. And we're now third in the league, so at least the women are impressing. That's what matters.
Yeah. This guy, Dizzy, says the guy who kicks the ball in your video in the intro to replace Bammy. Oh, man. And then, yo, what do you like to be known as, man? Do you just like to be known as Gunner Slays, or what are you saying?
It's just Souls or Gunner Souls. It's the same thing.
All right, enough said. And yo, tell the people about your channel and big up to you. I think this is your debut. And the debut question is, what made you an Arsenal fan? Like, out of all the clubs you could pick, why Arsenal?
I love the misery. I love. I don't know how many. No, it's just I love arguing with people. I'm being born in Manchester. Everyone's either a United fan or a Liverpool fan. So I just decided to take the opposite route and support Arsenal. I'd not come from a football family background. They're all literally into cricket. And yeah, I think I resonated with Arsenal a lot more than I did with any other club in terms of what Wenger did for the Premier League football. And yeah, obviously where you can find me is like Gunner Souls. Obviously, I do a lot of shows with Harry as well. Obviously, we've done one recently. I'm on Jess's channel quite a bit, if anyone knows who she is, and obviously Tanner's as well. So yeah, it's like, unlike Aubameyang, I do get around.
Some early Aubameyang digs already.
Oh, man.
No, I've backed the man too much, man. You know, literally all I've been getting all morning is haha, you lost, mate. Where's your chest now? That's all I've been getting, mate. And as much as you've enjoyed the sun, I'm gonna go and read these tweets, in the sun later on.
Oh man, Twitter never stops, man. Twitter's undefeated when it comes to getting people. They always come back to bite you. I'm the guy who said we're gonna slap Liverpool, so.
Oh, you got me. I'm the same, bro. Have you seen the tweets I put out? I'm getting absolutely fucking roasted with them back to me.
Yeah, but yo, the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna actually put the players up. So Harry and Gunner Express, if you want to shift over slightly, so your face isn't covered when the other way. Yeah, and then so we're gonna start with the man himself, Bernd Leno. What are you guys saying?
Typical Leno, right? Some good, some bad, all in 90 minutes. Feel like he could have done a bit better for the header, though it was a powerful header. If he pulled off a save, it would have been a world-class save. Feel like he could have done a little bit better for the Salah goal. But he did make a few good saves in between that and kept the scoreline pretty respectable. So, I mean, 5.
5. Wow. Okay. Gunner Express?
Shocking. I think one of his worst performances in the Arsenal shirt, really. I didn't see much good from him. Yeah, 1 or 2 decent saves, but Liverpool's finishing was off. I think if Liverpool had that better finishing, if Milner and Fabinho took 1 or 2 more chances, it'd have been a couple more goals, maybe 4-5-0 maybe. First goal, again, I agree with Harry. It looks like you can say he should have done better, but if he saved it, it's a world-class save. But that second goal for me, it's the second, third time now, Leno, where he's got his legs wide open and he's just not quick enough. He doesn't save with his feet, and that's what annoys me. He's so poor with his feet. He relies on his hands so much. And I mean, he shipped 3 goals. So for me, it has to be a 3 at least. And again, the kicking yesterday, it was when he tried to kick the ball, it was just appalling. So not a great performance from Leno, really. I'm going for a 3.
Okay, so we got a 5, we got a 3, we got a 2, we got a 4, we got another 3, we got a 1.5. Daisy's always on point with those 1.5s. We got a 5. Now, realistically, I'm gonna go to Gunislav's. You're the decider. You got a 5 and you got a 3. Where do you sit on this?
Do you know what? It's a tricky one, because what I always like to do is go back and watch these games. Yeah, I put myself through the torture again, and we're tactically breaking down actually where the 3 goals and who was at fault for a lot of them. And the fact of the matter is the defense was off, and that's why Leno was having to come and actually save the day. And unfortunately, on this occasion, he couldn't do enough. Like with the header again, like Harry and Good Express have said, it would have been a world-class save. Yes, I agree he shouldn't be getting megged on your near post. But then, when the Jota goal went in, I don't think he's at real fault for that, because Holding or Chambers should have been better at covering the space and actually picking up Jota. So for that reason, I'm going to go with Harry and say, you know what? Actually, I'm going to go with a 4, because I don't think anyone was average. I think the whole team was below average. So I'd say 4.
I thought, you know what? One thing nobody mentioned, if it wasn't for Leno, the scoreline would have been probably 5 or 6. The way they were just cutting us open, we depended on Leno to save us. Yes, goalkeeper should be making saves, but some of the saves that he had to make were great. Where also you could say, you know what, he is partially at fault for some of the goals too, because we did concede 3 goals. I'm mixed, and I'm leaning more towards giving him a 5. And to me, I think him getting a 5 in this game would be actually generous. But what are you guys saying?
That's why I said 4.
Rating?
Yeah, that's why I said 4, because it's too generous to give anyone a 5, really.
Okay, so Harry, you willing to?
But if you want to give it a 5, I'm not opposed to that.
Do you know what, Egal? The sun is shining. I'm willing to lower my rating down to a 4. More than happy.
But understand, this is we're putting a heavy benchmark. We're putting a harsh benchmark, because if we're giving Leno a 4, I could just imagine what we're going to give the midfielders.
Oh, just wait, Egal.
Okay, so guys, we've unanimously agreed on a 4. Now, when it comes down to the rest of the players, how are we going to do this here? We're going to start with, let's start with Kieran Tierney, since he got injured. Did he play enough for you guys to be giving him a rating?
Not really, not for me anyway.
I mean, in my player ratings on my channel, I just gave him a 5. I think when he was on the pitch, he wasn't actually that bad. He wasn't great, but the pass that he picked out to Aubameyang, if you remember, when Aubameyang kind of stuttered with the ball and then crossed it into Pepe, that ball from Tierney was immense. The way it just cut straight through the defenders, it was awesome, really. But yeah, he went down injured in like the 38th minute, I think it was. So I just give him a 5. You can't really rate his performance when he hadn't even had a full half yet.
Yeah, Kieran Tierney, guys. What about yourself, Harry?
Yeah, I think that's fair from Express. I'd say a 5. I mean, if you look at the way we conceded those goals in the second half, 2 of them on the right-hand side. Or was it 3? Was it all 3?
I think
all 3.
All 3.
Yeah.
The cross.
It just shows you, how important he is to that left-hand side. And Cedric might be able to come in and do a job against average opposition, but against anyone decent, he'll struggle, which is not his fault. He's not a left-back. Yeah, so Kieran Tierney at a 5 seems fair. And fingers crossed he's back for Thursday.
Yeah, fingers crossed, 100%. Because I heard David Luiz was out for the season, but then waking up this morning, I found out it's not as bad as we thought. He could be back after the first leg against Slavia Prague.
Not to digress too much. I've mentioned this a few times, and I think when Tierney is out, I would play Gabriel left back and I would play Mari left centre back. I don't think it's a big thing. Man City do it with Ake. They've done it with Laporte. You can play a left-footed centre back, left back. Just how we played Socrates right back a few times. Even Mustafi played right back. I just think you'll get more of a natural body shape there. Too many times I see Cedric stuck either too close to his centre half because he wants to overcompensate, or too close to the touchline because he wants the ball on his right foot. So yeah, I'm really not keen on Cedric left back against decent opposition. And I'd like to see us give Gabriel a go at left back when we're struggling without Kieran Tierney. But anyway, just a thought.
Okay, so we gave Kieran Tierney a 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so far we've given a 4 to Leno, right? We've given a 5. We've given a 5 to Kieran Tierney. We've given a 5 to Kieran Tierney. Now, what are we giving? What are we giving Chambers?
I think. Oh, do you know what? I watched. I didn't watch all the game this morning. I watched bits of it in the background. I feel like Chambers done well on some occasions to quiet down Mane. When you think about Mane, he didn't have an amazing game. I think Chambers done well to get stuck into Mane at every opportunity and not let him turn too many times, even though Mane did. But he was pretty average on the ball. It was a bit hot potato there. I would say a 5.
Okay.
I would say a 5.
Okay, so we're saying a 5 for Chambers. What about yourself, Gunnar?
He was terrible. The amount of times he lost his man was abysmal. Like, that's because, like I said, I always like to watch games back before I give my thoughts on him, because I feel like in the moment I would have probably given them all a 0, but that would have been a bit too harsh. But I just think a 2, because I think I get what Harry's saying. But unfortunately, Mane was actually occupied by holding. He kept losing Mane, and then even if Robertson was coming, he was losing Robertson. Like, you just simply didn't have an awareness of where his player or who he was responsible for, where they were. And that could contribute to the fact that Pepe doesn't really help out defensively too much either. But he was just losing his man on a constant. So for me, I'm giving him a 2.
I don't think he was hugely exposed down that side, to be honest. I think that's harsh. I think out of the back 4.
All right, just to put it clear, Jota's goal could have been prevented if Chambers actually came in a bit more. He came in and actually marked Jota instead. You could have actually shouted for holding to say Jota's there, but he didn't. There was a lack of communication, or he could have closed Jota down himself for that first goal. So he was in a way at fault for 2 of the goals. So he was losing and looking just man watching, like he was.
To be fair,
like
Pepe didn't help him though. Pepe did not help him. That's true.
It's not Pepe's job to help him now. That's the thing. My question is this with Chambers. Everybody was gassing him up after the West Ham game, and this is another thing where I get annoyed with the fan base. You've just gassed up.
It's more out of jokes. I don't think we really gassing him up.
No. I get that.
I get that. Thinks he's the English Cafu. Come on.
No. I get that, but I'm not going that extent. I mean, some people were calling for him to start over Cedric, and that's a joke. The guy had one game, didn't even perform. He was good against West Ham, but let's not forget that we still shipped 3 goals. Whether he's involved in that or not, he's a right back. It's shocking.
No, but look at it this way.
And in the Liverpool game, Egal, I gave him a 3 in my player ratings, but after rewatching it, it's a 2. He was shocking. There was nothing going forward. He was helping Pepe in no way, shape, or form in the attack. So if Pepe is meant to help him defensively, why is Chambers not helping him offensively? And then my question is for this with Chambers, defensively, he hasn't been tested yet. Yesterday, he got tested defensively by Diego Jota, and he got embarrassed because Jota was just ringing around him. Off the ball, Jota was just beating him every single time. Chambers was not tracking him. He was not watching him properly. He was ball watching, which so many of our defenders do, which for me is why we have a poor defence. And he got beaten. He got beat that 3rd goal. You can't get beaten like that. I'm sorry, you can't. As a professional right back, I don't care whether you play right back or not, you cannot get beaten like that. And again, I question Arteta on this. Why did he choose Chambers to go against a Jota or a Mane? Why didn't you just go safe and pick Cedric? I know, like, hindsight, yeah, Tierney got injured, so it might have been, like, kind of wise, but it made no sense to me. Because, again, we haven't seen Chambers and Pepe together, and it's another one of those combinations that doesn't work. The only right-back and right-wing combination we've seen work with Pepe is Cedric. And again, Arteta didn't choose that. So, for me, Chambers a 2. Shocking. Absolutely appalling. I mean, you can't get beaten like that. I'm sorry, you can't.
I think honestly, that's incredibly harsh. I think out of the back 4, he was the only one that came out with an average average performance. I think honestly, I
He
think
looked
I think it's
dejected.
We're
really,
looking
at
at
the
it like
end.
that. No, but we're looking at it like that because nothing came from his side. But unfortunately, he did prevent what came from the left-hand side. That's where my issue is. He could have stopped and actually man-marked players better.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time on Chambers. Are we going above or below a 3?
I'll give him a
I
3.
think
but,
three's generous, really. But
yeah, but I'll give it if that's what people want. But for me, 2 is like justified.
Harry?
I mean, listen, different spectrums, I suppose. You know, my lowest player is going to be a 4 or 5. I'm not going to start throwing out 2s and 3s. So
Okay, so 4.
I mean, no, I'll stick by what I said. I think he was a 5 out of 10. I
Okay.
think he done all right in times.
Okay, so based on the average, we got 2 2s. I'm giving him at least a 3, and Harry's giving him a 5. So average, you're gonna average it out to 3, guys. Cool.
yeah,
That works. Now, Rob Holding, where do I begin? Is this what we should expect from Rob Holding in big games now, or is it?
Yep.
Or is he
Yep.
just?
Mhm.
Who said yep?
Yep, me. He's trash. I've said it for so long. I said it when
Okay,
he was good.
no. Explain.
Trash.
Explain.
He's
Don't
trash.
just throw out.
Okay, I'll explain. Since everybody was calling him good, and I was the only one that I remember saying that he's still not good, and he will still prove how poor he is. This is twice now in 2 games in which he has been beaten by a under 6 foot tall attacker. I don't care how good the header was or how good the cross was. Look at the Sterling one as well. You can't get beaten by a 5 foot odd. I'm sorry, you can't. You're a defender. And everybody praises Holding's heading. For a starter, for me, he's scared of heading the ball. The amount of times he just lets the ball bounce and then we get beaten because of that, it's shocking. In the first 4 minutes of play, he got turned by Mane, and I wasn't shocked because that's Chambers. Sorry, not Chambers, Holding. Sorry, he gets turned all the time. Egal, all the time. He gets spun like he's a fidget spinner. He's appalling. He's not good enough. And again, I question Arteta. You had Mari sitting on the bench and you chose Holding. And I feel a little bit sorry for Holding.
You can't play 2 left-footed centre-backs. You can't play 2 left-footed.
No, but you can because we've played 2 right-footed centre-backs before. Teams play 2 right-footed centre-backs, so you can play 2 left-footed. We've played Louise and Gabriel together. They're both left-footed centre-backs.
Let him finish, and then
it makes sense.
Gunnar Express, you done?
Okay. You can
play... one more thing about Holding real quick. I feel sorry for him because he hasn't played a lot this season and he's been thrown in against Liverpool when they've got Salah, Jota and Mane. How is he ever meant to succeed there? He hasn't played for ages. So I don't get Arteta's tactics. Why do you just throw him in? I don't get it.
Yeah, that's a great point from Goon Express. It's obviously you've been out with concussion or whatever. You haven't played a minutes of football since Man City, and then you come in against Liverpool at home. But he, unless you play Chambers there, he was our only option. I know you see 2 right-footed defenders play centre back, but that's because most right foot players are more comfortable on their left foot and left foot players are more comfortable on the right back, which is why you'll very, very, very rarely see 2 left footed centre backs ever. You'll literally never see it because it doesn't work. Left foot players are naturally more left footed. They overcompensate for everything. So that's why you saw Holding in. I thought Holding was really, really poor. Everything that Kun Express said. I don't think he's a bad defender. I think he's a decent defender. He's a good squad player in certain games, but you're playing against Mane's movement. Mane is a beast. Let's not forget that. He's one of the best in the world at that. And yeah, Rob Holding was poor and he needs to fix up for Thursday because I assume he's going to be playing.
I think the reason why Pablo Mari didn't play, maybe he just thought because Rob Holding played in the earlier game. What was it? The last season's game, and he did quite well. Maybe Arteta went with, you know what? I think Rob Holding would be up for this game. I'm not sure, but for me, Rob Holding out of the 2, if I'm gonna give Gabriel what I think I'm gonna give him, I'm gonna rate Rob Holding a 3, just because to me, I've lowered my ratings to a decent level, but to me, anything close to a 2 or a 1 is somebody who absolutely gives away an own goal, concedes 3 goals. All 3 goals were his responsibility. I don't think all 3 goals were his responsibility. He did have a part to play with all of them coming from his side, but I'm going to give him a 3. And that's one of the lowest ratings I can give to the team this season.
I just think how many more midgets is he going to let score? Because for me,
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
like, no, it's just, it has to be said. How many more is he going to, like, at this rate, I think my baby cousin can start scoring against Holding. And, like, it's just, you know, when you make a mistake once, right, it's like, all right, you go learn, you know, you've not been, but he's done it too many times, and he's just, for what people give Holding credit for, I just don't see it. Like, personally, he was spun in the box for the Jota goal when Mane got it, and he let a man touch the ball in the box. Yeah, you're meant to be a Premier League centre-back at Arsenal Football Club. I'm sorry, you don't get spun in the box. I don't care how good your oppositions are. Yeah, you still have to step up to the challenge. And unfortunately, at too many occasions, right, the guy's bottled it. You know, and his positioning off, because there's just too many times where I've seen him, I don't know what he's doing.
Let me ask you this. Did we lose the game single-handedly because of Rob Holding?
No.
Do you feel like Rob Holding not playing this game and Pablo Mari playing, we would have not conceded 3 goals?
Probably.
Hypothetically, probably not. We'll never know.
Listen, I mean, I don't know what everyone thinks about Mari, but Pablo Mari is no better than Rob Holding. He's just a left-footed version of Rob Holding. They're just as average to good as each other.
All right, Harry,
honestly, they really are. They really.
You know
Pablo
what
Mari
it is,
just got fancy naming along there.
No. But
one thing on the
let him finish.
just one thing on the headers. I totally agree with you. Rob Holding isn't being out-jumped by smaller players. It's not about being out-jumped. It's about his positional awareness. Michael Owen was 5'5" and scored headers throughout his whole career. It doesn't matter about height. It matters about positioning and timing. I don't think Rob Holding's marking was poor. It's not like he's being out-jumped because Jota hasn't out-jumped him. Rob Holding has jumped up for the header. He's missed the header. Jota is in a better position.
Yeah, but it's because he's ball watching again. He's ball watching. He's not paying attention. And I've said this. How can
position of defending needs to be better?
Hypothetically, how can Arteta have improved the defence when all the defenders still ball watch, which is exactly what happened under Wenger and Emery? And people criticise the defence under those two teams, and I understand why, because it was poor. But there's no change. The only reason the defenders are better is because Partey is there, and I know he hasn't had a great season, but he helps. And Gabriel is a better defender than what we've had, yet he still isn't great. And I'm going to put that out there. For me, Gabriel is not our best centre-back right now. And for me, that's a fact because he isn't. And we'll get on to Gabriel, I'm sure, in a minute. But I'm sorry, our centre-backs, our defenders aren't as good as we think they are. They're really not.
So what we're going to do is we're going to throw this to people in the chat. I am torn between a 3 and actually lowering it. Harry, do you think 4 is adequate?
Yeah, based on me giving Chambers a 5, I would give Holding. Well, I want to give everyone a 5, but I can't. I'd give Holding a 4.5.
Okay. People in the chat, let us know your rating. Gunner Express, yours is a 2.
2. Yep. Shocking.
Gunner Slows. How do you say it again?
It's Souls. Yeah.
Souls. What is it? 2.
I don't know. Yeah. I'll give him. Well, yeah, I'll give him a 2.
And just to be fair, to meet in the middle, I'm also closer to Harry, so I'm gonna give him a 3 because I feel like 3 is adequate. Because there's bigger issues to talk about. It's not only only the defenders.
Right? Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So now let's get straight into the Gabriel situation. I got rinsed for bigging up Gabriel. People said Gabriel is this, Gabriel is that. You know, at the end of the day,
Gabriel was awful yesterday.
All our defenders are going to get exposed if for 90 minutes they're getting run at. And Gabriel, for the first half, you cannot tell me he was not our best player. He saved us on countless occasions in that first half.
Yeah.
Second half performance, at that point, realistically, the ball was going over his head and being scored from the other side of the pitch. You can't blame him solely for those goals. But the Salah goal, I feel like is what people are blaming him for.
Yep.
And solely in a game that we never created any chances, didn't have an opportunity to score at all, did not do anything.
Because we didn't create anything. He
absolutely saved us in the first half. For you to scapegoat Gabriel, a defender, in a game that we didn't even create 3 chances.
No, Gabriel doesn't know. Anyone scapegoating Gabriel needs to rewatch the game because he was the best player until that second goal. like that second goal ruined his performance. But for me, I gave him a 4 because before that he was good. The second goal, what happened? It was a classic Gabriel move, and this is why I say that for me right now, Luiz is still the best defender because Gabriel gets beaten in pace, and we all say that Gabriel's his pacey centre back, even though I've never said that because he isn't, and it proved it yesterday. He's not that fast. He got beaten for pace by Salah, and then what annoys me is, again, what I've said all season, he's too rash. He puts in a tackle too early. Salah just skips over him and then he's past him. So he's too rash. I'm sorry. Gabriel is way too rash. He puts tackles in too quickly. And at the end of the game, we saw it. He got a yellow card right at the end of the game and he didn't need to put that challenge in. And he did it for no reason. He's too rash.
Spam the chat with your rating right now because
I give him a 4.
I personally, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I feel like if you're gonna say he was average, you can say he's average, but give him an average rating. To me, average rating is a 5, and I'm saying he gets more. For me, if he was one of the better players today, if we're giving Gabriel less than a 5, nobody gets higher than a 5, in my opinion. Then.
No,
what did we give Chambers? What did we give Chambers? Have you written them down?
We gave Chambers a 3, did we not?
Yeah.
I can't believe we gave Leno a 4. That's what.
And Rob Holding, what did we give Rob Holding?
Rob Holding got a 3 also.
A 3. Yeah. Well, then, yeah. I mean, listen. I know Gabriel had a good 45 minutes, but the game is 90 minutes long, and you're looking for a leader at the back. His pass completion was 63%, the lowest in the back 4, which is awful. He made 49 passes, 63% completion. Just for perspective, Rob Holding made 45. His completion was 82. Callum Chambers 34. His completion was 67%. I think Gabriel was awful yesterday. Awful. And I feel like because we have maybe favourites, we sometimes compensate, for that player's performance. But first half he was good. Second half he was awful. I mean, the tackle against Salah was just poorly timed. I know it's annoying when you tackle with your left foot and your right foot hits the ball, but I mean it's an easy tackle to make. You're in front of him. And then the third goal, just a nonchalant pass to Cedric, which turned over the ball. And if that's anyone else, if that's Xhaka, if that's David Luiz, the commentators are going in on him. It gets captured on Twitter. It gets retweeted a million times. Everyone goes, look at my defender. Look at this guy. It's the same thing for Gabriel, but we give him more leeway because he's new. But Gabriel was awful yesterday. I know he had a good 45 minutes, Egal, but second half he was awful. He contributed to conceding 2 goals. He was bad. So I would say, based on, well, the thing is, I would have given him a 4, and I would have given every other defender like a 4.5 to 5. So, I mean, I'm going to give him a 4 because I gave Rob Holding a 4.5.
Okay, guys, are we giving him the same rating as Rob Holding? Or are we going 4?
I'd drop into a 3. Sorry, Stills, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, it's fine.
Well, I was just saying, I didn't realize his pass completion rate was that bad. So yeah, 3. That's shocking. I mean, come on. Again, I like Gabriel, but I don't really have favourites. Obviously, I have players that I don't rate as highly, but that passing rate is shocking. And everybody says again, Gabriel's this great ball. He's a great ball playing centre back. He's good and this and that. The stats prove that he isn't. And I know people don't like stats, but stats in that case that Harry's just given, how can you argue against it? His pass completion rate was shocking. So I drop into a 3 because I can't give him higher than Holding and Chambers, knowing that. Like, I'm sorry, I can't.
Okay. Yeah, sorry to interject. I think the reason why the pass completion is so important is because we play from the back. And these defenders aren't making their passes, it's okay if you're trying long balls. I get that's a 50-50 because sometimes it's going to reach Aubameyang, sometimes it's not. But we're talking about passes into midfield, not making their man. We're talking about a pass to Cedric, not hitting Cedric. When you don't have David Luiz, it's unacceptable. And because we were so poor at the back on the ball, it just carried on. And that's why our attacking players never got involved, because from the back we were awful. I agree with what Express is saying. We picked up Gabriel a lot, and because we're all excited that we had this new centre half, and he's still showing that he's still adjusting to this league, and it's still going to take time. I do think he can be a good centre half, but sometimes it's about partnerships. And next to Rob Holding, it seems that that's not necessarily going to work.
Okay, Harry, it seems like we're tied, guys. So can we go 3.5? Because two of them are saying 3. 2 of them are saying 3. I'm saying 4. Harry's saying 4.5, right? Or 4. So we're just gonna have to go straight in the middle and just be even. So it's gonna be 3.5, the first 0.5 ever given. Now for the midfield, I'm gonna add this on Twitter because right now this midfield thing is mad. Like
Yeah.
midfield thing is mad. So we're gonna have to. This is going on Twitter too. So we're now live on Twitter. You guys can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we're also live on Twitter, big up to everybody on Twitter. What we're doing is the player ratings for the midfield now. We're gonna start with Thomas Partey. Personally, the midfield they were doing a vanishing act. Every single one of them. Thomas Partey, I can't defend it. Today he couldn't stay on the ball. I don't know if the plan was to not be on the ball that long. Ceballos, I thought was dreadful, but some people showed me that his rating on who scored was a lot higher. Personally, eye test watching the game, I felt like they were all as bad as each other. I couldn't pick out a good performance from either of them, and I thought Ceballos was one of the worst performances from Ceballos I've seen in a long time. And I'm not sure if it's the international break that made me have higher expectations for going into today's game or not, but it definitely did have a factor in my ratings and my feelings after the game. Now that I've thought about it, sat back and rewatched the game, I still feel like they were invisible. I still feel like I didn't see them for majority of the 90 minutes. And Thomas Partey, for me, has once again we're the whole team's probably getting less than 5s today, and Thomas Partey is one of those guys. Where do you guys sit on this, Harry? I'll start with you first.
On Thomas Partey, yeah.
Yeah, Thomas Partey.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough gig for him yesterday. Fabinho and Thiago, especially, were dominating the midfield. Milner was doing quite a good job in there. Firmino was dropping in, and yeah, he was on his own. I would give him a 5 out of 10 just because he didn't give up, and even towards the end, he was still, trying to track down and close the ball down. But honestly, when you're playing next to Ceballos, who is a little bit confused as to where he should be, I think it's really hard on Partey. So I would give him a 5 out of 10.
Okay, so you give him a 5. Gunner Express?
I mean, I've seen some people giving him 6s and 7s. I really, really want to know how. What did he do good yesterday? Let's be honest. And I've said it for a while. He's been a flop. And I'm sorry, he has been
says
a flop.
he's been our best player. He was our best player last night.
I don't think anyone was good. I don't look at it as who our best player was, because I think everybody was crap. So for me, there was no best player. But Partey, again, I don't get how people are giving him 6s and 7s and stuff. Like, I don't get that. What did he do that was good? We lost the game 3-0. The midfield was dominated by Milner and Fabinho. And Fabinho I get, but Milner, the guy's old. He has legs that don't work as good as they used to do. Yet we can't beat that. I don't get it. The guy wasn't good enough. Again, he's been a flop this season, and I'm not. That's not me saying that he hasn't been great or that he's not going to be good. But again, the hype that the fans put on him was way too high, and he didn't live up to it. And he said it himself. He's finding it difficult to adapt. And again, our fans take the piss out of Werner and Havertz and all these players. We have Thomas Partey.
But that's banter.
No, I get that, but that's fine, Egal. But then you have to look at it and say, yeah, but Partey's also been a bit of a flop, because he has. Thiago ripped him up yesterday, and we take the piss out of Thiago. Thiago was excellent yesterday. So okay. I'm sorry, for me, Partey wasn't good. I'm going to give him a 2 or a 3 because the midfield was shocking, but Ceballos gets worse.
I think
we haven't gotten to Ceballos yet.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, quickly, I just want to say one thing. I think when you're on your own in the midfield, I know we want so much more from Partey, but you can only do so much. I don't think he's a game changer in that respect. He needs to be in a system, and I'll tell you, man, you could have Vieira next to Ceballos, and Vieira would struggle. I'm telling you. When you're on your own in there and you're outnumbered in 3. I know James Milner's legs are old in that respect. I don't want to be ageist, but he can still get the ball and move it, and positionally, he still knows where to be, which is why he can drop in left back. Danny Ceballos in there, no disrespect to him, but he's running around, and what I'd say, I know I don't want to digress too much, but we are so driven towards playing a certain way of football, and we're so focused to Granit Xhaka dropping in and Partey being slightly more free and Tierney pushing up and all of these elements, and for it to work, it has to start from the back, and then it has to work with Granit Xhaka, and then gradually as you go further up the field, everyone can affect the game. And when it breaks down in the middle, it just ruins everything. And I think we've all said it, but yesterday highlighted that unless you have a similar profile of player next to Partey, it's going to be really hard for him to influence the game. I think he was the better out of a bad bunch, but I don't want to be too harsh on him. I don't think we can underestimate how hard it is to play with someone like Dani Ceballos, which is why Dani Ceballos is a loan signing and is on the bench every single game and gets taken off when he starts every single game.
True. Okay, I need you guys in the chat to help us out because these are becoming tougher and tougher to actually rate after such a bad performance. So if you guys can give us your ratings while we're going along, it would be very helpful. So right now we're on Thomas Partey. Gunnar Express has given his rating. He's saying between a 2 to 3. I think, Harry, have you gone yet? Or you said 5, right?
Yeah, I said a 5. And for perspective, that's going to be my highest ratings. So I'd say 5.
Okay, 5. And then Gunnar, Slav?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, look, you can't play with Ceballos. Like, the man was doing it on his own. He had 3 midfielders on him at all times in terms of Partey, and unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do when there's, when you're literally the only midfielder. I don't even know what Ceballos was doing. The man couldn't string a 2-yard pass with someone back and forth. And that's where our issues came, and that's why I kind of agree with Harry. Like, I think people are being a little bit harsh on Partey in terms of saying that it's just when he's with Xhaka, this is the thing, right? I'm not saying Xhaka's the solution. All I'm saying is Xhaka offers Partey what Partey can't do, and Partey does things that Xhaka can't do. And that's why it works so well. Yes, we need an improvement in Xhaka, but for me, I would have loved to see El Neni play personally. I know he didn't cover himself in glory either, but I feel like if he was drilled to do that Xhaka role, we might have actually seen a better midfield. But on that, I'm going to give him like a 4. Because I don't think he's as bad as people are making him out to be. Because when you look into the context of things, he was on his own, literally in that midfield. So that's why I'd say 4.
Okay, so I'm going for also. So we're just gonna stick with a 4. Harry went 5. Gunnar Express went lower, so we're in the middle. Dani Ceballos, I'm just gonna paint it this way. I said he was shocking. I thought he was bad, and you know what? The reason why I have to take this and look at people who criticize Granit Xhaka and scapegoat Granit Xhaka. Yes, you can say we need better, but games like today show how integral he is to our team and why he's picked week in, week out. Doesn't matter who the manager is. And people who say, you know what, get Xhaka in the bin, get rid of him. I get your anger and frustration, but you actually have to look at the bigger picture. If we get rid of Granit Xhaka, now we have to spend another 50 to 60 million to replace him in a midfield that already needs major surgery. He is the best player out of a bad bunch, and he's the most consistent due to Thomas Partey's injury history this season. So today, we missed him, and a lot of the people who before the game were celebrating Granit Xhaka being out, I guess we found out the truth behind it. And that's why I'm rating Ceballos so low, because the drop-off is just unrealistic. Ceballos, to me, I can't give that low of a rating, but usually I don't give that low of a rating. But Ceballos has been horrendous, and I'm going to give him a 3.
Wow, that's generous. Like, genuinely, that is very generous. For me, right, the man couldn't string a pass. Every time the man touched the ball, the game broke down. Simple passes were going to Liverpool. The midfield had no spine to them. And that kind of shows, like, I'm not saying that Xhaka, like, I know a lot of people are going to give more credit to Xhaka now than he probably does deserve, in my opinion, as well. But it just shows that, like, we do need a system to play. And unfortunately, Arteta chose the wrong midfielder, in my opinion. Like, he showed nothing. He showed absolutely nothing. We were playing with a man down, and I'm going to give him a 0 because I don't know what. I can't even, with Partey, you can pick a little bits of positivity. With Ceballos, I can't remember one thing he did right. Not even one pass that I thought, you know what, fair enough, you made a pass. So that's why I'm giving him a 0 because he was beyond terrible.
Okay. I kind of got a grasp of what Harry's going to say, but I want to hear it from him also. Is he going to get less than a 5 at least?
Yeah, I'd give Ceballos a 4. Just not only is he not consistent or good enough, but he's not the right profile of player that we need next to Thomas Partey. I agree with Souls. Elneny would have been probably the more sensible bet, but I'm guessing Arteta thought we'd have more of the ball and he'd want someone a little bit more progressive in Danny Ceballos. But do you know what? He looked lost in there yesterday. He looked like he didn't know where to stand. He looked like he didn't know when to give the ball, when to receive it. There was a few times he got the ball off the centre back, and then he passed it back to the centre back and almost like directed the centre back where to play it. And I'm thinking, get on the ball, get on the ball, man. You're centre midfielder. You should want that ball, and you should want everything to go through you, just like Thiago and Fabinho were doing. And even though sideways passing isn't always pleasing on the eye, just get the ball and knock it side to side and give it to Chambers and drop off and get it back and play it to Cedric and get it back and just like recycle the ball. And he just wasn't there. And there's one time when him and Partey got in the way of each other, and I just thought that wouldn't happen between Xhaka and Partey because they would know whose responsibility it is to drive and whose responsibility it is to sit. So yeah, Ceballos 4, but I could easily give him much lower than that. But I'll try to be respectful to him if I can.
I think I'm gonna have to try to find a tiering system because we all tier it so differently, Harry. It's tough to give a group rating. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you
should do school grades like A, B, C, D. Maybe that's the best way to do
it. That's not how we do it in football, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so we got some comments here. This club should be sold to someone who has ambition. Kroenke is killing the club. I completely agree. This is AFTV's fault for making the Thomas Partey music video. They actually didn't do that. Doneo did that. Now, I'm just gonna end it here from that midfield part. Gunner Express. I'll let you have Ceballos.
No, zero. Shit. Utter shit. Never ever do I want to see him in an Arsenal shirt again. Every single person, every single one of you said that we should keep Ceballos last season. Where are you now?
I apologize
Tell me that
to
now.
Turkish. Yo, I put a tweet out and I apologize to Turkish because I thought Turkish was harsh when he said, "Yo, Ceballos is not good." But when he said that, I literally wrote a tweet and I literally apologized to him because I remember him saying that at Box Park, saying, "Yo, Ceballos is trash."
Because Turkish speaks facts, man. He knows what he's talking about. All this stuff about Kroenke he's always right with. And he was right with Ceballos. And I said it from the beginning. That Burnley game, I wanted to see more and we never saw more from him. He's so poor. He doesn't know his position for a starter because he doesn't know where he's playing. He doesn't know what he's doing. And for me, the fact that he's a Real Madrid player is an absolute joke. He won't be there next season. He'll go to a second-tier Spanish side probably because that's his level. And I'm not being disrespectful. I'm being factual because he is so shit. Okay. For me as well, Arteta, you take blame for that, mate, because you had Elneny on there. And I know Elneny's not the greatest of players either.
We're going to get there.
Elneny can switch. He could have played there. He didn't. Arteta's fault, 0.
There. We're going to get to Elneny in a bit. Guys in the chat, what's your rating? Because right now it's between a 0, a 5, a 4, a 3, and honestly, diddly squat like that. People in the chat are not even giving their ratings today. They're just like, you know what? Everyone gets negatives, so they're giving
you can
negative
have an F.
10.
You can have an F in Harry's ratings as well. F,
okay.
Trash.
Do you really think Joe Willock would have done better in this midfield, or is Joe Willock?
I could do better. I can pass a ball properly. I cannot try and do stupid. I can try and do not. I cannot. And Harry said it yesterday. He's not a bad footballer. He does too much. He overplays how good he actually is. And this is why I wanted Elneny in there, because he keeps it simple, which sometimes simple is better. And he tries to act like he's Ronaldo and that he's, Verratti and all these great players. Ceballos, mate, keep it simple, but he can't do that. He can't do that. So,
guys,
to
be fair, I think Ceballos was he the worst player on the pitch?
Yep.
Yeah. No. Actually, no. There's 2 in combination, but we'll get to that.
Okay, so if he's not the worst player on the pitch, in that case, I'm gonna overrule the 0 and 2s, and we're gonna give him a 3. Is it fair to give him the same as the likes of Rob Holding?
Absolutely not. It's not fair on the likes of Chambers and Holding to give Ceballos the same rating.
Okay.
Also, I don't think it's about I don't think it's about being the worst on the pitch. I think it's about how detrimental your poor performance is. And in centre midfield, if you have a poor game, everything stops. The game is won in central midfield. Whoever plays the best in central midfield will most likely go on to win that game. And we were so poor in that area, so that's why.
Ceballos gets a 2. Ceballos gets a 2. Now, moving on from Ceballos, Martin Odegaard. I generally thought he couldn't get the ball. They couldn't get the ball to him to do anything realistically. Usually, at least in the West Ham game, there was time where he would get time on the ball. They would get the ball to him. This game, he couldn't even get the ball to him. It's harsh to criticize Odegaard's performance because the people behind him were not providing anything to get the ball to him. At least the attackers, they were. You could say they never tried to get on the ball. I seen times where Odegaard was so deep that he was almost like a DM.
Yeah, agreed. I think I'd give Odegaard a 5 out of 10. He tried, he pressed, he never gave up, but he's at the top of that midfield triangle, and if your bottom 2 midfielders aren't getting the ball and aren't finding him, you can only go so deep to get the ball. If you go so deep, essentially, there's no one ahead for you to pass it to apart from your striker. And that's what happened. We saw him come deeper quite a few times. He passed it side to side, and the ball would break down because there's no outlet ball for that person he's passed it to because Odegaard is deep. So, yeah, I can't fault him. He tried, and that's what you want to see when everything's going wrong. A player that is at least pressing and trying to get the ball back.
GK, what's your honest truth and what's your honest rating? Am I being sentimental when I didn't give a rating? I'm just laying the groundwork for my thoughts. And Harry said his thoughts. He said 5. Gunnar, what are you saying? Express.
For Odegaard, I mean, yeah, I can't blame him for his poor performance because he was poor. Let's get it right. You can argue that, yeah, he won't get in the ball and stuff, but go and win it. I get that you need to stay in positions and stuff like that, but everything's going wrong. We're 3-0 down, we're 2-0 down, we're 1-0 down. Who cares at that point? Just go and get the ball. Like, I don't care if he. For me, I think for me, it's Arteta again forcing these players to stay in their positions because they don't want to move out their positions, and I get that you have to do that. But when everything's going wrong anyway, I don't care what you do. Well, what's going to go wrong? Like, well, oh no, we concede another goal. Who cares? At least attempt to try something. And for me, Smith Rowe yesterday, I'm not saying that he'd won us the game or anything, but I just see Smith Rowe going and getting that ball, going and taking the initiative and trying to push further forward. I didn't see that from Odegaard. And I love the guy. I think he's great, but I've said it. I want to see more from him. And yesterday proves to me that spending 50 million, 40 million pound on him is not a good idea yet. Because in big games, when everything's going wrong, he doesn't do anything to help us. And it might not be his fault, but he didn't take the initiative. He wasn't proactive. He didn't attempt to change the game in any way, shape or form. He just sat there. He just sat there, like, go and get the ball. Okay, Partey is not doing anything. Ceballos is playing awfully, but go and get the ball. To be fair,
he did, man. Did you not see times where he was dropping so deep it looked like he was almost like in the left back role or the right back role?
But he didn't do anything, Egal. He didn't get the ball. He didn't push forward. We didn't have chances. And this is the thing. Everybody says again that we create chances under this manager. No, we don't. We created no chances. We had 2 shots in the whole game. 2 shots, and this Liverpool team isn't good.
3.
Let's not forget that. And their centre-backs, they're awful. Phillips and Kabak are so unproven together, and we couldn't even test them, and it's pathetic. So every single one of those attacking players for me gets no more than a 4. So 3 for Odegaard. But don't get me wrong, the front 3 gets worse because they were just as bad, if not worse. But I'm sorry, I can't. He didn't do anything to help. But it wasn't just his fault. Let's get that right. He did not get any support.
Okay, guys, in the chat, help us along. Give us your rating. So far, we have a 5. We have, would you give him a 3 or a 4?
3, yeah.
And Gunnar's lens?
The truth is, right, look, I get what you're saying, Express, but unfortunately, right, you can't just tell players just to keep running around when the midfield is doing nothing. Again, it comes down to it. Like, you can't go and take the ball and then make something happen every single time. He's not a Lionel Messi. He's not a Ronaldinho. He ain't one of those players who could just run through a defense. He never was. He's a creative midfielder who presses his man, and he does that very well. Unfortunately, yesterday, this was just a collapse of our midfield. It was a collapse of our defense. And I think it's just a bit harsh that people are being with Odegaard. What he is there for, he does very well. Now, this is what I don't like is when people start to compare, like, oh, if ESR was there. Unfortunately, he's injured. We can't say if ESR was there. I've never said Odegaard or ESR who's better, but if you're not going to get the ball to him, our average position was in our own half. No one was going forward. The midfield just wasn't doing anything. Every time the defense got the ball, all they did was inshallah over the top balls. Like, let's just hope something fucking happens. Yeah, like that's just all we've been doing. And like,
So
how do you expect Odegaard to do something when the ball isn't coming to him? I get what you're saying.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Inshallah, balls
No,
over
but this is
Oh,
the
I
thing,
always
though.
laugh whenever I hear
But this
that.
is the thing. You don't just need to be a Messi or a Ronaldinho. I watch a lot of Bundesliga. I've seen Thomas Muller. I've seen Goretzka. I've seen these kind of players who, for me, are criminally underrated. But let's just go off of how they're rated, and Muller's not rated by anybody. Let's just get that right.
Oh, wait a minute, you're naming Bayern Munich players.
No.
I'm sorry, but that's Bayern Munich.
No. Again, please go and watch Thomas Muller play and then talk, because I watch this guy week in, week out, and in a crap
I never
Bayern
said
Munich
Thomas
team.
Muller shit.
No, I'm not saying you are.
You're
No,
talking
but what
about
I'm saying
Bayern
is,
Munich players.
in a Bayern Munich team that can be awful on the day, Thomas Muller will pick that ball up from anywhere on the pitch. He will take it forward and he will push his team forward.
Do that. I know
no
he
matter
can do
how
that.
bad they are.
1 second.
Exactly. So Odegaard can't be that good if he can't do that, because nobody rates Thomas Muller.
Let him rebuttal. Go ahead, Gunnar. You're slim. What are you saying?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that, but those players have the ability to do that. Martin Odegaard's never been a player. I've watched him at Sociedad. No. All right, because a player can't dribble past a man, that's it. You don't want
I'm not asking him to dribble past a man.
he
No,
never
I'm
was
asking
that.
him to pick.
Lacazette should go. Aubameyang
that's
fucking
not what
Pepe should
that's
go
not what
because
I'm
he can't
asking.
dribble
That's
past
not what I
anyone.
said.
Gabriel can't dribble either. Like, this is the thing. You can't just say just because they can't do that there's limitations.
I didn't ask Odegaard to go and dribble past everybody and slot it top bins. I asked him to go pick the ball up from the back and then make something happen. He didn't even attempt to do it. So if he can't do that and that's not in his locker,
but the thing is,
then
no one
I
in the
don't want him.
attacking front
We need a
was
player who
making
can do
anything
that.
happen.
We need a player who can pick the ball up and make something happen. And if he can't do that, I'm not spending 50 million quid on him. He's not good enough then.
We'll leave it there for now. We got Shade Man here throws in a $10 super chat, $10 super chat from Canada. Big up to you, bro. Ottawa man, my guy. He says Odegaard is our most forward player. What? He was our most forward player yesterday. It's not his fault. He doesn't get the ball. How is he supposed to lead? How's he
supposed to lead the charge when no one is managing to get the ball to his feet?
Yeah, there you go. So honestly, I think he's echoing what you said, bro.
Pretty useless then, isn't he?
No, but like realistically, nobody is going to do anything if they don't get the ball.
Well, then go and get the ball.
He did
go and
try
get the
to do
ball.
that.
Well,
he did try.
Yeah.
What the fuck's he meant to do if all our attackers are fucking left back? If they're sitting in defense behind him, what's he meant to do?
He tried. So let's give him praise for trying when he didn't do anything. My point is I don't care about a player who tries. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We lost the game 3-0. We didn't create chances, which is his job, by the way.
Yeah, he's meant to go do everything. He's meant to dribble. He's meant to go fucking score the goals. He's meant to do that. Whilst everyone else is sitting back.
I didn't say. Did I say?
Well, that's what you're insinuating.
No. What I'm insinuating is he should go and pick up the ball. If no one else is going to do that, go and show the initiative. He didn't try and go pick up the ball.
Okay,
him sitting deep.
What are we giving him?
Aubameyang sat deep. But did he try and win the ball back? No.
People in the chat, you guys decide.
Arteta's tactics, man. He forces the players back. He's forced to sit back.
We're not talking about Arteta right now. We're talking about Odegaard. So there is a 3, a 5, a 4. Where does he sit on that spectrum for you? If those were your 3 choices,
I'll just give him an 8. At least he tried.
Okay, Gunnar Express. Seriously,
3.
Okay,
3.
Harry.
Yeah, like I said, 5 out of 10.
Gunnar Slens.
4.
Okay, so once again we're tied, and I'm gonna have to decide. Honestly, I'm gonna give him a 4. I felt like 4 is adequate, and we have been giving low ratings, so 4 is actually average based on the ratings that we've been giving today. Everyone's head drops. But yeah, moving on. Pepe, he did a vanishing act. Overall, let me just lay the groundwork. Nicolas Pepe, he has been at times this season shown glimpses of he's shown glimpses that he could do something. But today, I don't know, man. I don't think he had any. I don't think he helped at all because we conceded a lot of goals from that side. He did not help out defensively. He did not do anything to help us out. Overall, I'm going to give him a 3. It's harsh. I would give him a 3.5. I'm closer to giving him a 4, but honestly, it's a 3 or 4 for me. Harry, what are you saying?
You know what? I think if you watch the game, I think he did try defensively to help out. I don't think you could accuse him of not tracking back. I think he done okay from a defensive perspective, but yeah, he just didn't influence the game as much as he could have. But make no mistake, yesterday it was impossible for the attackers to influence the game because there was just no option. So I would say a 4.5 out of 10. I'm not going to get on his back too much because I just think everyone was poor, and when everyone's poor, it's going to be hard for anyone to influence the game like we want to. A few dribbles he went on, which were a little bit mazy, and you thought, oh, can you commit Robinson back a little bit more? Can you make Robertson chase you? But yeah, ultimately, it wasn't to be.
Yeah, guys, do me a favor. I haven't mentioned this throughout the video. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel right now. Like the video also. And don't forget, share this out to your peoples if you wanna get more people involved and let them know about the channel. And right now, I think we're close to 30 likes. So guys, if you can smash that like button, we get over the 30 like mark. We only need 3 more likes, and there's more than 30 of you guys watching. So we could even get it to 40 likes right now. Let's get that. Let's push that likes up. Now, Harry, did you give your rating or did you just say?
Yeah, I did. I gave him a 4 out of 10. But I don't blame you for forgetting, my man. I don't blame you, but I gave him a 4 out of 10.
4. And then I honestly feel like you're. I don't want to say you're pulling a tie because you have given some low ratings, but I feel like out of us two, we usually give higher ratings, but it's just there's nothing to defend this game, man. It's honestly you can't defend it. They didn't give us anything to actually be like, you know what, this guy can get better than a 5. It's just tough.
Exactly. I think all your marking today is based on maybe hard work and attitude, but on ability, everyone was pretty poor. But a few players seemed to try it a bit harder, and I think, like I say, if you watch the game again, I think Pepe defensively did help out Chambers a little bit. He was doing a lot of tracking, but he just didn't influence the game enough on the ball.
Okay. We're just gonna go past Pepe, and I'm gonna go straight to the next guy because I know Gunner Express, you're gonna want to speak about him first. Guys, I'm just gonna give Pepe a 4. Is that fair?
I mean, I give him lower, but sure.
I'm gonna dedicate Harry. We're not gonna speak about Aubameyang. We're just gonna let them talk about Aubameyang because if you want to say something, let them finish and then you jump in. Okay, Aubameyang. Gunner Express, take it away.
Just quickly to the guy questioning whether I support my club because I'm being overcritical of Odegaard. Let me explain one thing. I know you're not an Arsenal fan, so you don't know how it's like to support us, but we just lost 3-0 to Liverpool in a game where I expected us to win, and that game meant more than just beating Liverpool because of the likes of Rocastle and Torreira's mum being in, obviously dying recently, and it was to respect them, and we played awfully. We didn't respect anybody. They couldn't even respect the fans. So me being overcritical and you questioning my support of my club, just leave it out, mate. Just leave it out. I'll be as critical as I want. There's some people out there that are much worse than me in terms of being overcritical. I'll give my opinions. I just ask you to respect them. But in terms of Aubameyang, I asked him to be dropped. He should have been dropped. He didn't get dropped. And he pulled out a stinker. Let's be honest. I love Aubameyang. I respect every single thing he's done for this club. He's given us moments of high, obviously with the FA Cup win and all this good stuff like that, and pushing us further in the Europa League. But I said it when he got a new contract. We shouldn't have given him a new contract yet. We should have accepted the £60 million from Barcelona and got someone a bit more youthful and someone that can build around Arteta's tactics. Playing Aubameyang and Lacazette together in any other formation other than a 3 at the back doesn't work, and we've seen it again yesterday. And Aubameyang was poor. He does nothing. Like Saul said at the beginning, he doesn't do anything. He did nothing yesterday. He wasn't getting around. He was sat back. He was playing centre back virtually the whole game. And I don't know, man. It's poor. I mean, everybody said that he's a superhero. Obviously,
What's
all the Space
rating,
Jam
guys,
stuff
in the
around.
Chat? Everyone's saying things,
Shocking.
But no one's saying ratings. Chuck a rating in the chat right now.
For me with Aubameyang, he didn't do anything. So I can't give him any more than a 1 probably because you didn't do anything. Not because you were poor, but he didn't do anything. He wasn't going forward. He wasn't trying to win the ball back. He was sat defending it. And by the way, he had more touches in our box than in Liverpool's box. And you're a left winger who's meant to be an attacking left winger. That is shocking.
That's not it. Wait a minute. That's not his fault. That means he's doing defensive work.
Yeah, but he's not. He's a left winger, Harry.
I know,
a left winger. Great that he's doing defensive work, but I want you to attack. I want you to go and score, and he didn't do anything. And we still lost 3-0. So the defensive work that he didn't help.
No, I get that. But if you have 11 men behind the ball, then there's going to be times when you are in the box intercepting. When Martinelli made a few interceptions against Man United at home in our 18-yard box, everyone was clapping and applauding him. So I don't think you can criticise Aubameyang for having touches in our box. That just shows how poor we were overall. I don't think that's something to beat him down with. But I'll let you guys carry on about Aubameyang.
What's your rating?
I give him a 1. Didn't do anything, but he was better than Ceballos, which is difficult. It's not hard to be, is it really?
I'd give him a 4 out of 10. He was no worse or no better than Pepe or Lacazette. They were always non-existent as each other. But haircut aside, captaincy aside, 350 grand a week aside, when we're talking about the game, they were all as ineffective as each other. 4 out of 10.
Okay. Gunnar Slows.
If I speak, I'm getting cancelled on him. I'm not even joking. I've been one of his biggest supporters all season. I'm just going to give my rating and move on because you can ask Kesh what I think about him later.
Okay.
Egal, he knows everything. Fair. I say it after stream.
No. I said to Robbie, RIP Claude, I said to Claude and Terry on the football terrace that we should have sold them in the summer, or we should have moved them on, and we shouldn't let players hamstring us by contracts. We should have the might and the power to if the player is not submissive, let them leave. And guess what? Everyone laughed at me. I hate the fact that I'm right. But we should have got rid when we had the chance. Aubameyang, I still back you. I hope that you can do good things. But right now, you're not living up to your expectations. Try to get back there. All you need is one more game like that game that you got the hat trick, and you're back up there in the goal tally charts, and people will forget about it. But if your performances on the pitch are not doing well, and you're coming, and Travis Scott's in the building, those kind of things, people don't like it. The Roy Keanes of the world, the people of the world, they don't like people showboating and not showboating, but like just it's like they're having so much fun on the pitch. They're having so much fun in the training ground, but it looks like on the pitch they're not having fun at all. Where is that? Why is it not translating?
Can I say one thing regarding the contract? I mean, when you've just won the FA Cup, right, and Aubameyang has single-handedly saved your season, I question anyone that came out and said we shouldn't do it. I would get why people would say it, but I think the general vibe would be to extend his contract because he still looked.
You know why I said it? I said it in the sense that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is not bigger than the club. We need to stop acting like we can't find a replacement for Aubameyang. And at the time, we could have received 25 million from Barcelona if they had the money, or any other club that wanted to pay 25 million. That 25 million in that summer market could have gotten us
it would have been more than that.
Depay. It could have got us a Memphis Depay for 13 million plus an extra 10 million, another 12 million remaining to go towards a midfielder. Yeah, and that would have been an adequate replacement for me.
I agree that we shouldn't have been held at ransom in terms of the contract negotiations, but in terms of the quality of play that we extended at that time, it was the right decision because he was our leading man and had been our leading man for the previous 2 to 3 years. And let's also not forget one thing that Arsenal are constantly criticised for is contract negotiations, and even to the point where players such as Welbeck are used to beat down Arsenal's negotiations. I've heard Arsenal fans say, Welbeck, another player that left on the free, and all of these players that leave, with 1 year to go, and we don't manage their contracts. And now we extend the contract, but because he's not good enough, it's a case of, we should have extended the contract.
No, I agree, Harry. Okay, I was on the bandwagon of let's re-sign him because let's be honest, right? And his numbers are phenomenal. Well, they were phenomenal, and let's be real. Like he was arguably one of the best strikers in the Premier League. Even if you want to disagree or agree with that, hindsight is a brilliant thing. And I know, Egal, you said it before he signed the contract. And I know Kesh also said it before the contract. And I understand your points. Maybe, we need to stop with the sentiments, and maybe we need to stop with this sort of, once they reach a certain age, we don't resign them. If we do, we just give them a year. My issue with the contract was with the fact we gave them 3 rather than just maybe another season, or maybe, just so we could get that sale, or maybe we can maximize what we could get out of them.
If you give him a 1-year contract extension, then 6 months into the season, if he's on flames, you face the same problems again. The whole negotiation thing begins again. I get it. A 3-year deal is a lot, but it's simply just to protect your investment. And also at Aubameyang's age, he would have only accepted a 3-year deal, which maybe is a reason why we should have pulled out. I totally get that.
Guys, we currently have a situation where we don't know what we're going to even do with our team, and we have guys like Aubameyang and Willian on the team that are old, aging, and that are currently on 3-year contracts. To me, what I thought was we were going to bred in the youngsters and have these guys basically steer the ship. So to an extent, it did make sense, but the way it's going right now, it makes it look worse. So let's put hindsight. Aubameyang rating, I'm just going to give him a 2.5, average it out between Gunner Express and Harry. Cool?
Your show, buddy, whatever you want.
Let's now quick fire. Lacazette, 4?
For me, is a 5. He's getting the highest rating for me.
Okay. Then 5 it is. Gunner Express?
I give him a 3, but he was better than Pepe and Aubameyang. But I don't give anyone above a 5 other than Tierney. But
Okay. Harry, 5 for Lacazette?
No, I'd say a 4, to be honest. I thought him, Aubameyang and Pepe were all as ineffective as each other.
Okay. Now Cedric. I'm just gonna benchmark for Cedric. Came in, you conceded a bunch of goals from that from that left hand side, being balls crossed in and everything. So I'm saying a 3, 2. What are you saying?
The man was marking their right back. Let's just a right back, mark a right back. Aubameyang was deeper most of that game. Yeah. Then Aubameyang was marking the winger, and he was marking I thought, did he not come on to be a left back? That's what I thought. Mm-hmm. Maybe I got it wrong. I don't know, mate, because that baffled me. I was watching it back, and he was further forward than Aubameyang.
I think Aubameyang was playing left wing back.
That's communication as well, It's like when Trent pushed up.
Cedric, I mean, Trent looks different to Salah. I mean, unless I'm blind or something, and I'm pretty sure I can tell who Salah is and who Trent is.
Let's just be real. Their right hand side got like a 9. If we were rating Liverpool, Trent gets a 9, and friggin' Salah probably gets like a 7 or 8.
Trent was brilliant yesterday. Trent was amazing yesterday. It just comes down to him not being an actual left back. So when Aubameyang tracks the overlapping run, there becomes just a breakdown in communication, and you can see that they don't know, which man to mark, and that just comes down from positional awareness. Cedric wasn't good yesterday, but he's not a left back. He's going to be our left back.
He's going to be our left back versus Slavia Prague. He's going to be our left back most likely versus.
I don't care if he's not meant to. He's a defender. It's not like we put a striker at left back. Then I can fucking understand that argument. But he's still a defender. The fundamentals are still the same. Your positioning shouldn't be that off. I get what you're saying, Harry. But
unfortunately, it is though. Unfortunately, it is.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm being critical, because he's still a defender. I could understand if you want to put Pepe there, because he's never done that ever in his life. He's never played in a backline before. I get that he could have that mistake in him. But for Aubameyang to be marking who you should be marking, and for you to be marking who Aubameyang is marking, it's just not on. I don't understand that. He should be there to stop that Trent cross, not Aubameyang, who has no defensive ability at all. That's what I'm giving the man.
Okay, hear me out then. Play Chambers left back.
No. Hell no.
Even worse.
Play.
Well, I mean, we ain't really got more. You know what I would do?
If Saka's fit, play Saka left back.
Yeah.
That's it. And if Saka's not fit,
yeah.
And if Saka's not fit, I'm telling you, play Gabriel left back. It's an easy transition. He's playing 5 yards further across the pitch. Don't go forward. Just tuck in and be a left back that just sits there. Easy,
You know
easy
what I
work for
do?
him.
Guys, like the video,
Obviously,
by the way.
obviously, Arteta wants to play Aubameyang and Lacazette because he's done it a few times. So just play three at the back. We don't have a left back. Cedric can't
You
play
know
there.
what?
Play a
If
three
we
at the
play
back.
3 at the back,
Play
we
Aubameyang and
don't.
Lacazette.
We're fucked if we play 3 at the back. You know why?
No, I know we're fucked.
Performances. No. Hear me out. Performances like the performance yesterday are going to happen more often because we're not going to be on the front foot as much against every
Yep.
team if we play with 3 at the back.
We're not on the front, but we're not on the front foot with a 4 at the back. So who really gives a shit?
No,
at this
we
point?
are. You can't
not.
tell me. You can't
We're
tell
not.
me that the last game that we played against Tottenham, we were in front foot. You can't tell me that the game before that we were in front foot. You can't tell me the Chelsea game we were in front foot. Obviously, the games like West Brom and Newcastle, we were just dominating them.
But how
Like,
many
as
chances did we take? So
Bro,
it doesn't make a difference.
we created
my
like
point is
14,
this.
16 chances.
My point is this: Saka at left back is great, but we saw yesterday that without Saka, we can't move forward. So how playing Saka left back is going to help us going forward?
No, I don't agree
beats
with
the
that.
point. I would either play Gabriel left back, but it's a massive risk because again he hasn't ever played there. But I get Harry's point. But for me, a 3 at the back works because again, everybody likes to say that this FA Cup win was
But
this and that.
who plays
We played
left
a
wing
3
back
at the
then?
back there. Left
Who
wing
plays
back.
left wing back?
Play Aubameyang there. Why not? Who cares at this point? Like Aubameyang, he wants to play Aubameyang and Lacazette together. So play them two together. At left wing back, you play at left
It
wing
doesn't
back.
work. It doesn't work. Freddie Lumberg told us it
It
doesn't
does.
work.
3 at the back doesn't work, but we won the FA Cup with a 3 at
To
the
be
back,
honest,
right?
to
Which
be
is
honest,
what.
yeah,
Wait.
to be honest,
I don't
disagree with
agree.
what Chris is
I
saying.
agree with you, Egal. That I don't think it works great, but everybody talks about the.
No,
everybody talks about the
We
FA
didn't
Cup.
find out.
We won the FA Cup with 3 at the back.
in that system.
I wouldn't play a left wing. I wouldn't use Saka at left wing back.
If you were
No.
playing that system, who would you have as left wing back?
It's Arteta to find out. That's Arteta's job. I'm not the manager. If I'm going to sit here and
saying
give
that
all this
me and Harry are saying Saka
It doesn't
play left
matter.
back.
It doesn't matter who's left wing back because whoever's left wing back, Granit Xhaka is going to fill that spot anyways.
Well, exactly. So
That's
the left
who we're
wing back,
missing.
the left
That's
wing
the
back could be Lacazette. He's still going to go forward, and then someone's going to have to cover for him anyway. It's the point of a left. It's the point of a wing back.
Okay, so Cedric gets a 3.
My question, real quick for you, Egal, is this: you said that to get a 0 or a 1, a player has to be directly involved in giving away all the goals. Was Cedric not directly involved in giving away all the goals?
He was involved with 2. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I would drop him to a 2 at least. At least.
Okay, well, you overruled me. Fine, cool. Mohamed Al-Neni. I don't think he had enough time to. I don't think he had enough time to be given a proper rating. But what are you guys saying?
I don't know what he
was.
did. I didn't see anything.
But when he came on, I remember people on Twitter saying, "Finally, Arteta's made a change in the midfield that could help us." And am I mistaken? When he came on, it just
He did fuck all, mate. We conceded 3 the minute he came on as well. Like.
Oh, you're right, Egal, you're totally right. I think because
Third
it
goal
wasn't
as
working with Ceballos, it was like, right, it's not working with Danny. Let's try on any in there. It didn't get any better because neither of them are Granit Xhaka, so that's the problem we've got.
Yes, Harry. Keep saying it. Say it louder, lad. Say it louder, lad.
No,
Who did we miss?
He's right. Put some respect on this man's face.
No. No,
See,
let me explain the thing with Granit Xhaka, right? Don't get me wrong, and I've said it. He's still shit, and I'm binning him at every given chance. But
do you not realize...
the reason why he's good is because who is he competing with? El Neni, Ceballos. So it's not hard to be better than both of those players. And the thing is, Granit Xhaka, his style, which is to pick up the ball and move it quickly, El Neni doesn't play like that. Ceballos doesn't play like that. So I agree. We do miss Xhaka when he's not there. But my point is this. There's so many better players that play similar styles to Xhaka out there. So when everybody says we should keep him, I would bin him, bring in Basuma. Because Basuma, for me, is the exact same player, but 10 times better because he can do more and he does the basics better.
I think the whole of Emirates Stadium would agree that we need to eventually upgrade on Granit Xhaka. I don't think anyone...
It has to be this season.
I don't think anyone is saying otherwise. But the problem is that because of the dislike for Granit Xhaka, because of previous offences, there's also many fans that have said, put El Neni in there, put Ceballos in there. And what the point from that is, without Granit Xhaka, regardless of Granit Xhaka, it's not even Granit Xhaka, without a deep-lying central midfielder who is left-footed, importantly, we are unable to function as a team.
No, I agree.
And And that's it. And there was a tweet today about it just shows how far our levels have dropped, if we miss Granit Xhaka. And that might be the case. But it also shows that without Granit Xhaka, we don't function. So our levels are actually worse with him. But I totally agree that we should go and upgrade on Granit Xhaka, 100%. But unfortunately,
I don't think anyone's saying that.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's having a problem with. We definitely need better than Xhaka. That's never been
No,
in
but
question.
my thing is, bro. My thing is
Yeah.
not upgrade Granit Xhaka. My thing is get somebody in who's a starter caliber. So Granit Xhaka is now squad depth. When you have Granit Xhaka as squad
That's
depth,
what I mean. There's still an upgrade. That's technically what an upgrade is.
Oh, yeah, by the way, listen. Sometimes I like repackage my Granit Xhaka thoughts, to make it more acceptable amongst the masses. If we start in Granit Xhaka central midfield next season, I've got no problem with that. No problem with that. If Thomas Partey is on form and Odegaard is on form, I've got no problem with that as a midfield trio. I've seen enough in that midfield three to show that when they're on song, we can dominate and dictate possession. I saw it at Spurs. I saw it against West Ham. When they're on song, we can run a game. I've got no problem with those guys being that midfield three, based on the fact that I've got Saka scoring, I've got Lacazette scoring, or I've got Aubameyang scoring.
guys, we have a massive problem. You know what it is?
That-
A massive problem. Everyone hear me. Listen to me clearly. We got a massive problem. And it's not the players on the pitch. It's not the manager. It's the owner. And also the freeloaders in the chat that haven't hit the like button. That's also a massive problem. But besides that, the owner is the biggest issue. And until we fix that, we're never gonna get anything done. And Dan Gotti's the biggest issue.
I know, but we're talking about players, and I said this yesterday on another stream with Good Express. I don't waste my energy on the owners and whatnot, because I know what it is, and it has been that for a long time. So, I'm not going to complain about Aubameyang not working hard and not being the captain, because that's not his style of play. I'm not going to moan at our owners for not chucking in 500 million every summer, because the money that they have thrown has been used really poorly. I'd say under Arteta that the past couple of windows it has improved. And let's not forget we signed Pepe for 72 million not too long ago. So we can't accuse our owners of not spending money. They're just not willing to do Chelsea and keep on spending and spending and spending and spending. Hopefully they come across a good player. So
let's just say this about the
Arteta's rating, guys? Let's do the Arteta rating.
Yeah.
And people in the chat, I want to know, if you are an Arsenal fan, are you Arteta in? Are you Arteta out? Or are you just bored of this conversation? Because personally, I'm in the category where I'm bored of this conversation at this point. There's no point of having it because he's not going anywhere. And so give me your ratings on this performance from the manager. I personally feel like the manager is culpable for this performance, and to a certain degree, I feel like the players are not listening to his instructions. I gave a lot of people 3s, and I'm going to give Arteta a 3.
I'd give Arteta a. Listen, I've got to be honest. I had no problem with the lineup whatsoever. I'd give him a 5 out of 10.
Okay, Gunner Express.
Well, I had issues with the lineup, but like I said, the last few weeks, I'm not going to talk about them unless they do bad. Because I had issues with the lineup yesterday, but if they went and beat Liverpool 5-0, how stupid would I look if I criticised it and then we won 5-0? So I don't criticise the lineup before the game, but after the game, my issues with the lineup being Chambers defensively, Ceballos just as a whole, and Aubameyang starting again and will he do nothing, they were proven right. So I do downgrade him a little bit for the lineup, but I still think it was good enough to at least challenge that Liverpool team, and it didn't. So it is the players' fault as well. But whatever stance you have on Arteta, you have to agree that most of that game yesterday was his fault. The substitutes were late. I get that he can't control injuries, but we can't use those as excuses. And I think that his tactics, he can't change tactics mid-game. He looks so worried when we go down. He doesn't know what to do. He played for a draw, in my opinion, and then when we went 1-0 down, he was playing for the loss. He was thinking, you know what, 1-0 loss, it'll be all right. We won't get much stick for that. But I give him a 2. I'm not going to go too low because, again, the players have so much to answer for. They get, the likes of Chambers are getting given a chance. He could be out the door and he's being given a chance to prove why he should stay. And he didn't prove that. Ceballos, getting chances to prove why we should buy him on a permanent. He's not proving it. So, it's not just Arteta. But for me, he had a big part to blame in it yesterday. So a 2.
Okay, guys, let me just read some of these chats. All roads lead to the dugout. Unfortunately, you can't sack
Yeah,
11 players.
can
So
I just
Arteta's
make a
head's
comment
gotta
on
go.
this?
Yeah, go ahead.
If I'm allowed to. I don't get it. What do you mean if it's easier to sack a manager? But what if their players are the fucking problem? Then you just get rid of a manager, get rid of a manager, get rid of a manager, get rid of a manager. The problem is, right, the players are also not good enough. So you can keep the cycle of, sacking a manager after sacking a manager. But until real change isn't made, that theory I don't like.
Yeah, can I say something? Like
Yeah.
I don't criticise a lot of our players, but there's a lot of people who will say Holding is, for want of a better word, shit. Chambers is shit. Ceballos is shit. Elneny is shit. Cedric is shit. All of these players, Aubameyang shit. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
So where should we be then? If that's the case, where are we meant to be?
Exactly.
Because you can't say they're all shit, but then be really angry at us not beating Liverpool and something.
Can I just comment on that comment really quick? There is no process. Get that? There has never been a process. There's a way of building, but there's never a process. It's a buzzword to simply get the fans excited. There's never been a process. And as well, somebody gave Arteta a 7. For me, that's delusion. I am Arteta out, yes. But I can give Arteta 9s and 10s when he does well. If you can't give him a low rating when he did poor yesterday, for me, that's in a sense delusion, because I'm sorry. How can he get a but like even Egal gave him what? I think you gave him a 3 Egal. You're Arteta ring this and that, but you have to be honest. He didn't do well yesterday. When he does well, I give him all the praise. Because again, all I want to do is be given that humble pie and I have to eat it because he proves me wrong. And when he does prove me wrong, I can come on here, I can go on my own channel and say that he proved me wrong. But yesterday, he did not do well. So, I'm sorry, I can't agree with a 7. No way.
Okay.
No,
So, guys,
I think it's like a 3.
Guys, we're going to wrap it up here. What I'm going to ask you guys a simple question, and I just need like 3 bullet points. What are the 3 things you learned from yesterday's game? If you could take anything from that game. Like, I'll point out something.
Xhaka is needed. I'll start. Xhaka is very much so needed. Yeah, I don't care what people say. This is Soccer FC. That's number 2. Yeah, and ESRs is understudy. So that's my 3 points of that.
Tell him.
There you go.
Yeah,
okay. You just took the words right out of my mouth. Harry, been beating the Xhaka drum.
Let me say,
mate, Harry, come, mate. Let's drum it, lad. Come on.
I've really enjoyed this past hour and 20 minutes. I've found it really therapeutic, actually. So thanks for conducting a really nice show. 3 things that I've learned is that Arteta looks good with a nice sun glow tan because he had a nice little golden complexion yesterday, which looked good.
Yeah, he looked good in it. Yeah.
The blazer and hoodie combo works. It shouldn't work. It's quite dated. It's very like 2000s boy band, but the blazer with the hoodie works.
Oh man!
And as usual, his hair was pristine.
There you go. And Gunner Express, before the floor sinks you in and takes you away, what are you gonna say?
Jesus Christ, man! How do I go after that? What a perfect way of explaining yesterday's performance, Harry. But
yeah, I can't
say Travis Scott.
There's nothing about football to talk about.
Look at this. Someone said Travis Scott is a clown. Mohamed Horizontal needs to go, and there is no process.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Mohamed El Horizontal. That's a good one. But as always, Egal, man, coming on your channel is great because we can all have good debates and stuff, and no one gets obviously over the top or anything like that. But 3 things, I'll try and keep them a little bit different, just so that it's not quite boring. Number 1, Ceballos ain't good enough. See you later, pal. Number 2, what do we do without Tierney? Please, Tierney be not injured. That's number 2. Hope to God he's not injured. And then number 3, I mean, I have to go with Soz. Without Saka and ESR, we're nothing. Absolutely nothing. So we need those 2 players back. We need Luiz back. We need Tierney back. We need Xhaka back. Oh, man, we're not in a good state.
Guys,
Can I quickly ask one question? It's not a quick question, though. Do you have to wrap it up, Egal, or not? Oh, sorry, Egal. Sorry.
I was going to say my 3. My 3 is the importance of David Luiz is underestimated.
Yes.
With the fact that we had no leadership out there, and Gabriel and David Luiz is actually our best partnership, and we need to stop talking about other partnerships because that is the best partnership we have. Number 2, Granit Xhaka showed his importance in this team and his integrity and his integral part in progressing the ball and moving the ball around the pitch. And finally, without Bukayo Saka and Smith Rowe, one of the two in the team, you actually don't have the energy and you don't have the tactical intelligence to have players drop in deep and pick up the ball and help out. Because when you play Aubameyang and Pepe out wide, you're basically telling the midfield and whoever's in the 10, you're going to be by yourself the rest of the game because no one is coming to help you. And when Aubameyang and Pepe drop deep, we have to question the coaching also. So this is more of a detriment to them and more of a compliment to the young guys. And Arteta, I don't know what to say. I'm just hoping that you can get over this because we have a good run of fixtures coming up, and hopefully that can lead us into a good light. And guys, don't forget to like the video. There's we got 2 more likes. We get to 40 likes. Harry, close us out. What were we gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say that. I know, obviously, we're all feeling very negative, but you've just hinted that our next run of fixtures are pretty friendly. So get a few wins back to back, and the whole complexity of the season changes again. So hopefully we can finish strong because we can still finish in a good league position.
Yeah, guys, get us to at least 40 likes before the video is over. We're on like 38 right now, by the way. And then Gunner Express, tell the people where they can catch you.
Yeah, I've obviously got my channel, the Gunner Express. I do some good stuff on there, so go check that out. Also drop a subscribe. And then on Twitter, just at Gunner Express _. Just follow me on there and we can have some debates and stuff on there as well.
Yeah, everyone's Twitter is there. And Gunnar Slaw, debut day, big up to you for coming on. Tell the people where they can catch you too.
I might just end up in a cave, man. I'm getting it from everyone for opening my mouth. But yeah, you can find me at Gunnar Souls, and if you want a roasting Gunnar Souls session, yeah, just come at Let's Debate Footy. Everyone's on it anyway, so bring it on.
There you go. And you guys already know where to catch Harry. His @ is right there. It's DJ Harry. You got the whole setup and everything, bro. Big up to you with the mic. And then yeah, as you guys can see, once again, complaining about my internet connection.
Oh wow, he lasted the whole stream.
Your internet's going bust go.
There you go. The moment I mentioned it. Anyways, have yourselves a good day, ladies and gentlemen. Have yourselves a great night. And I'll be back probably Tuesday. And I'll probably throw in some videos here and there. But we'll be back Tuesday having a live discussion. And I think Tuesday's discussion is not going to be about Arsenal. It's just going to be about where do we go from here with football? With Juventus possibly being in the Europa League. Dortmund possibly being in the Europa League, and Liverpool possibly could be in the Europa League next season. So if all those teams are in the Europa League next season, is the Europa League the new Champions League? That's the question we're going to have. Anyways, Tuesday, stay tuned. Peace out, guys.
Peace out.